Hi, I'm Al Schmitt, and we're here at the famous Capitol Studios in Hollywood, California. The first record I bought, I saved up my money. I was like 12 years old, 11, 12 years old, and I bought a record, Jimmy Lunceford. It was a 12-inch 78, and on one side was Jazznocracy, and the other side was White Heat. First live show I went to, I think I went to see, there was a band called Charlie Ventura, and it was Bop for the People, and he had these two singers, Jackie and Roy, and they did this great rendition of I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles, and I had the record. So he came to a place, I was 16, I was able to go and see him. That was a big thrill. My uncle had a recording studio in New York City called Harry Smith Recording. And from the time I was 7, 8 years old, I used to go every weekend. And we were very poor. And I would go there and spend the weekend with him. And he had an apartment on Riverside Drive. And he really had a lot of money all the time. And I used to go there and watch him record bands, you know, and I'd have a set of chairs and I'd clean patch cords. All the great artists would be there, you know, come by at other times. His best friend was Les Paul. Les Paul was his best friend, and I would see Les all the time, and he was like an uncle to me. Over 50 years. It's been a long time. I've been doing it since I was in my teens. My uncle got me a job. And not in his studio, but a friend of his had a studio called Apex Recording. So I go to work on Monday at 9 o'clock, and the owner takes me into the studio there and introduces me to the guy who's going to be my mentor. And that was Tom Dowd, one of the great engineers who ever lived. Not many people get that kind of experience and mentorship. I was working in New York, and I was now doing a lot of jazz records, and the guy that owned World Pacific Jazz would use me. He'd come from California to use me. And at one point, I was doing Jerry Mulligan and Chet Baker and all those great artists, and then Bobby Brickmeyer and Jim Hall and stuff for World Pacific. And jokingly, back and forth, he said, Al, why don't you come to California? I don't have to come here to use you. And I said, oh, yeah, well, get me a job and maybe I'll come out. 3 weeks later, he called me on the phone. He said, I got you a job out in California, out here, with the best studio out here. They love your work, they know who you are, and they want you. So I packed up my wife and 3 kids and moved out to California. And that was Radio Recorders. That was a big break for me. And then I started doing, you know, all the Henry Mancini's records. All the big guys in town were coming there. Everybody wanted to try the new studio. And it was a fabulous room. It was just great. And then I won my first Grammy in 1962 with Hatari with Hank Mancini.